Hi everyone, my name is Desiree, and what I have for you today is the second part of a lower body focus series. So today is going to be all about standing poses, standing, being up on our feet, right? The first one was all about staying low. Today is going to be about being more upright and supporting ourselves this way. If by any means you do need props, feel free to use some blocks, but I think we should be okay. If you need to take a break at any point, by all means, go ahead and do so. What I really want you to focus on for today's class, so last time we talked about the weight distribution on the feet. So we want to keep with that, right? So if you didn't watch the first one, what I talked about was that think of the feet having these 3 points, right? So we have both the ball mounds and then the entire heel, right? The rim of the heel as it rounds. So think of pressing evenly down through all sides of the foot, right? And that the toes are their own entity and that they're just staying soft and long as we stand down on our feet, right? With standing poses also, we want to keep most of the weight towards the back body, right? So weight back on the heels, but again, evenly distributed over the ankles and the feet with the body. Another thing to keep in mind, even though we're working with the low body, we want to keep everything from the ankles lifting up, right? So even starting from the inner arches, rooting and lifting all the way up towards the pelvic floor, right? So legs are going to stay strong and engaged, and it's going to move into the hips, right? So outer hips turn on and hug in, the glute, everything, right? So from the hips down, we're going to be strong and stable, right? From the hips up, we're going to be light and uplifted, engaged, right? So we have structure, but we still have softness so that we can move from shape to shape. All right, so let's start moving, right? You can stay at the center of your mat or you can start at the front or back right now, but let's just stay where we are and find Tadasana, which would be mountain pose, right? So the feet can either be together or hip distance, but start to imprint your feet into the ground, right? As if you're just imprinting them down into the soil, into the earth, right? So press down evenly through all edges and corners of the feet. Right, but keep those toes light and long. Lift up through the inner arches of the feet, all the way up through the inner thighs to the pelvic floor. Knees lift, hug the muscles in towards the bone, right? So that tailbone slides down, so we create this wall in our back. So the back body is very linear and supported, right? So as the tailbone reaches down, the outer hips hug and wrap in. And then we have the trunk so we can lift up out of the hips, allow that energy to rise and expand. Take the arms down by the sides, upper arm bones turn out away from the chest, eyes of the elbows forward, but palms towards us. All right, weight in the back body, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and a deeper, slower breath out through the mouth. If at any point that things start to get stormy or chaotic in your mind or your body, come back to your breath, to deep breathing, and return to these slow breaths out through the mouth. Take one more deep breath in, followed by an even deeper, slower breath out. Go ahead and open up the eyes, or you can keep them closed. But wherever you are, stay in this Tadasana, right? We are strong from here on out. There's no turning back. All right, I want you to shift your weight into your right foot. All right, lift the left leg up off the ground, just about an inch or two, right? So the foot is now hovering off the ground. All right, take the foot out slightly. We're just gonna make circles with the ankle, first going to the left. Take your time, go slow. Right, and then reverse, take the circles to the right. Come back to center. We're going to point the foot, right? Stretch through the top of the foot. and then flex. So bring those toes back towards the shin. Right, check in with that standing leg, the standing foot. Check in with those toes. Are they light and long? You can even lift them up. All right, go ahead and lower the left leg down. All right, take a moment, find evenness between right and left. Recalibrate, recenter, refocus. All right, let's shift the weight onto the left side. Lift the right leg up. Okay, let's first take circles to the right. So we'll move away from the midline. Feel free to stop and swish through any of these corners or movements in the ankle and the foot. And then reverse, going to the left. And then come to center, work through pointing and stretching and flexing and spreading the toes. Ugh, feels so good to me. Hopefully it feels good to you too. All right, go ahead and lower the leg back down. All right, pause here. Find evenness again between right and left. Come back to that Tadasana. Stay uplifted and rooted. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, we're gonna take the stance wide. All right, so step your feet as wide as you can. Right, if you take the arms out, maybe the feet can come under the hands. You find where you are stable, right? And what I mean by stable is evenly pressing down through the outer edge of the foot and the inner edge of the foot, right? So as we're here, the feet are also parallel. So the toes are facing forward, maybe even slightly in, depending on your body, right? So press down evenly through the feet, but lift up through that inner arch. There's a theme here, right? So lift up through the inner arch, root that strength, that length up to the pelvic floor, right? Press the energy down through the backs of the legs, out through the heels. Everything lifts and roots, right? Find the trunk, find evenness between front, back, and sides as you lift up and grow taller. Take the shoulders down away from the ears. Take the hands onto the hips. Right? And we are going to leave the legs exactly where they are and just hinge the chest. So as if we had a wall behind us to catch our butt from poking out, we're going to fold forward. So again, hips stay exactly where they are and just the chest comes down. You can take the hands to the ground. If you need blocks, you can come up onto blocks. Or if you need to go a little lower, you can walk the hands back in line with the feet. Wherever you are, stay rooting and lifting in the legs. Keep the legs strong and active, but continue to release the trunk, the chest, the head, the neck, everything down to the ground. Right, press the shoulders back away from the ears and be here for a few rounds of breath. All right, go ahead and walk the hands forward. So come to a flat back. Right, repress down through those feet. Take the hands back to the hips, and as you press down through the feet, lift the trunk up so the butt stays exactly where it is and you're just hinging up. Take a moment to be back upright. All right. So we're going to bend the knees, walk the feet in about an inch or two. Right, give ourselves some space. We're going to pivot to the right. So we're going to come onto the back, so the left toes, we're going to come onto the left toes, and then we're going to come onto the right heel. A little balance here. Right, and then pivot. Right, bend through the front knee, plant the foot. Right, so now we're in a lunge. Press out through the back heel. Keep this back leg straight and strong. Bring the attention to the hips. Draw the right hip back, left hip slightly forward. Draw the belly in and up, lift up out of the hips. Take the arms up overhead. Lengthen from the sides of the waist, out through the fingertips, but draw the shoulder blades down onto the back. Breathe. All right, so we're going to keep the arms up overhead, and we're going to use the arms how we need to transition our weight and our balance. So we're going to pivot back to that Prasarita. Right, so I'm going to pivot back to the left to face you on the front heel and the back toes. Rebend through the knees. Take the arms down. All right, back toes, front heel. Let's pivot to the opposite way. Skirt. All right, bend through the front knee, reach out through the back heel. Check in with the hips. Maybe that left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. Right? If you need a bit more stability, you can take the stance out wider. Wherever you are, keep that back leg straight and strong, and then lift the belly in and up to come out of the hips. Take the arms up with that energy. Reach long through the sides of the waist, out through the fingertips, but slide the shoulder blades down the back. Soften the face, soften the chest, and breathe. Keep the arms up. We're going to come back to that Prasarita. Right, so lift up onto the front heel and pivot. Woo. All right, take the arms down. Walk the feet in. Return to that Tadasana and reset. We'll neutralize. All right, so bring all of your weight into the back body, making yourself one long line. Take the gaze forward or close the eyes. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. All right. Let's come to the front of our mat. Find that Tadasana. But take your hands into a prayer. All right, shift your weight into your right foot. We're going to take a big step back for a high lunge. So start to bend. So standing leg starts to bend. We're going to hinge forward and take that big, graceful step back to that high lunge. Check in with the hips and that back leg straight and strong. All right. From here, we're going to shift into a warrior one. So take the front leg wide if you need to for more stability, but root the back heel down. Back foot is at a 45. Press the hips forward. Find evenness between right and left, and then take the arms up. From here, hinge forward. Lay the belly on the thigh. Step the left leg forward for a wide stance. Stay low, like you're in a wide chair. So root the tailbone down, lift the chest up. Stay low and bounce. For 2, 3, 4, 5, stay down. Reroot the tailbone, relift the chest. Bend deeper through the knees. Press down through the feet, stand up, Urdhva Hastasana with the wide legs. Walk the feet in, take the hands to a prayer. All right, find that Tadasana. All right, bend through the standing leg, hinge forward. Take that long, graceful step back for a high lunge. If you need to make your stance wider, do that here, but take the back heel down at a 45. Find evenness in the hips and press the pelvis forward. Extend the arms up overhead. And breathe. With the flat back, hinge forward, bring the belly to the thigh, shift your weight onto that front leg, and then step the back leg forward for that wide chair. Stay low, reach the tailbone down, lift the chest up, bend through the knees. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we'll bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, stay low. Re-reach the tail, lift the chest, rebend. Press down through the feet, Urdhva Hastasana. Take your hands to a prayer. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, followed by a slow, deep breath out. Heel toe the feet in together. Bring the big toes to touch, but space between the heels. Extend the arms up. Come onto the toes, so heels lift. Again, find that line in the back body. And very slowly, as you start to bend the knees, stay as linear as possible as you come down to a toe squat. Stay here. Again, readjust so you can come into that back body. Stay with me. All right, go ahead and take the hands down to the ground. And then slide onto the floor. Come onto your seat. All right, move yourself back towards the center of your mat. Keep the knees bent. All right, and then one by one, we're going to lower down onto the ground. All right, lay yourself on your back. All right, keep the knees bent, feet on the floor. Find a neutral pelvis here. All right, so the tailbone reaches down towards the heels. Hip points come slightly up towards the ribs, so the low belly shallows. Draw the knees into the chest. Take the hands onto the shins, and instead of cranking the legs down, start to go inward, right? So this is where we're going to start to get heavy in the breath. Take deeper, slower inhales and even deeper, slower exhales. And as the breath starts to fall into this pattern, the body will start to relax. And when the body starts to relax, the legs will heavy themselves down to the chest, relieving tension, tightness, and see where else that you can let go. Feel the low back spread and everything root down into the ground beneath you. Take the right foot onto the floor. Scrub that heel straight so the leg extends, and then turn the right leg and right foot out. Stay heavy in the hip and that entire right side of the body. You can even use your hand to coax that body down and relax. Lower the left leg down to the ground. Scrub the heel straight. Extend the leg. Right? Allow the left leg, left foot, everything to turn out. The left hip to heavy. Take your palms and press them lightly onto your hip points, right? And just rock your pelvis very lightly from side to heavy everything down. Just walk your hands down your thighs, back up to your hips, even up onto your belly, and lightly onto your ribs. Relax the shoulders into the ground. Bring the shoulder blades slightly inward behind the chest so the chest lifts. Soften across the collarbones. Take the heads of the shoulders down to the ground. Arms by your sides. Palms to face up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. See where else you can let go and soften. Stay here for as long as you would like. If you're coming up with me, bend your knees, roll onto your right side, and use your hand or your arm as a pillow. Stay for a round of breath. Press your hand into the ground and return to an upright position. Place your hands anywhere on your body that feels good to you. Bow your head to your heart. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Again, my name is Desiree. If you have any comments, questions, feedbacks, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.